Hey guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to go with this great email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is presently 29 years old, and recently he ended up kicking his wife to the curb, and I do mean literally kicking her whoosh, out the door after she requested a, wait for it, open marriage. You're going to see that this guy completely shocked her mind the way he handled it. How'd he handle it? Like a boss. A lot of guys sending me their stories. I've definitely graduated to the boss status here. And you're going to see, guys, in this very long story, which, by the way, this is 2 parts because I can't do it all at once. Don't freak out. I'll do part 2 later tonight. That, as you can probably imagine, as these things usually go, there was way more going on behind the scenes that he initially realized. And when it is uncovered, and you will learn about it in real time, you are just going to want to start throwing things at this gal. And in no way, shape, or form would anybody ever feel sorry for her after learning all this, even her own family. But this guy, he handles you right, and he's moving on, and that's great. And he's sharing this story to help guys out to understand where he went wrong, mistakes he's made, etc., etc. And you're going to see, like I tell you all the time, don't rush into relationships. Really take your time to get your dating. Don't rush and become exclusive. Make her wait. Make her work to get you. 6 months minimum. This guy, as you're going to see, way too fast. Then got married to her too quick, too young. Again, you take your time, years of getting to know her, real life situations, see what she's like, what her friends are like, how she is with money, communication, everything. And wait till you're more like in your upper 20s or 30, if you're going to do it. Lots of things. But I don't want to reveal too much. Let you guys learn in real time how these things go. And let's see if you can predict how some of these things are going to go. And I'll do part 1 and then part 2 in a few hours. So starts off, he says here, hi SSM. I've been following your channel since December 2022. My buddy suggested I listen to your channels after I found my wife cheating. Your channels have been a great help to me personally. It's good to hear the pain others have gone through and how they've coped. I think others might find my story useful and educational. If you wish to use it for that purpose, please feel free to on either of your channels. It's long, so please edit if you don't see fit. Dude, I don't mind a long story if it's good. And guys, this is great. If you don't want to use it, that's okay too. I'm thinking about doing a current update. Lots have happened to me and my ex since December last year. On. Yes, brother. I'm telling you now from the beginning. If you got updates, send them. Because believe me, the audience will want them. And I'll ask at the end of the video, if you guys want to hear updates to this guy's story, let him know. He says, I am a 29-year-old male, and I was married to my wife, Cheryl, a 28-year-old female, for 5 years. We met in college in 2013, my junior year, her sophomore year, at a university mixer. Cheryl was smart, funny, and beautiful. We hit it off right away and started spending all our free time together. Smack! No! You don't drop everything you're doing and spend all your free time with a girl you just met. You hang out with your bros, do your hobbies, all that. That shows her right away, oh, I'm really into her. And she's thinking, oh, this guy is easy. Right then and there, first mistake. I get when you meet a hot chick and you click and all that, but you can't make the mistake of rushing in and dropping everything. That's what nice guys do. And girls know this. I lived in my parents' house, not far from campus, and she lived in a campus dorm. We agreed to a committed, exclusive, monogamous relationship within a month or so starting to date. Smack! Too soon. 1 month? Less than a month of dating and you're already exclusive? No, guys, you got to wait longer. Make her wait. Make her earn you. Think about this. You appreciate things in life that you had to work hard to get instead of things just dropped in your lap. It's the same thing here. Women like a guy they got to work to get. And if you just jump into a relationship after 1 month, do you really know her that well after 1 month? I mean, I know you spent a lot of time with her. That communicates, I really like this girl. I really want her, and she's my queen. And how do today's women interpret that? You all know. So you got to take your time. And if she doesn't like waiting for you, then too bad. They'll find some other chick to replace her. But I guarantee you make her wait, she'll see you as a prize. And when other girls are chasing after you, she'll wait. Just little tips to help you guys out. I graduated with a BS in 2015 and immediately found a terrific job, great pay and benefits, and work environment in my field soon afterwards and graduation. The job was in our town and not far from my parents' house, so I could continue to see Cheryl as often as our schedules allowed. and I'm sure you saw her pretty often. My dad retired in 2016, and my parents decided to move to Florida for their retirement, but told me I could live in their house. I would eventually inherit it as long as I wanted. Dude, that's awesome. I pay property taxes and utilities. It's a great house, great location, a great place to raise a family. And you were probably already thinking great place to raise a family at that young age. Cheryl graduated in 2016 and moved in with me. She found a job in her field, but at a low-level position. I get you want to move in with your girl, but it's way too soon, unless you're going to marry her. But you all can see what's coming here. We were very happy living together, and were married in 2017. Smack. Again, too young, too soon. What were you, about 24? She was 23. I know you were in love. I know you were happy. Thought everything was great. Thought is the key word here. Too soon. Got it. No, there's no rush. No rush at all. And you're going to see, sadly, guys, how this is going to come back to bite him in the ass. I was so completely in love with her that I didn't even think I could be happier. Blech. Couldn't resist. She told me she felt the same. It was the happiest day of my life. Cheryl hated her job. That didn't take long. By 2019, it became clear that Cheryl would not be able to progress, be promoted, and have more responsibility and more interesting work, unless she got an advanced degree. We agreed that she would go back to school to get her MA. It would take about 2 years to get the MA if she went full-time, forever if she went part-time. I agreed to pay tuition. Cheryl will quit her job to go full-time. Well, that's certainly nice of you, and a good girl would be worth that and deserve that. But sadly, we're going to find she ain't too good. She was accepted into the MA program at the university in our town. We both went as undergraduates. So no disruption to our married life. She could live at home. We planned for her to start back at school in the fall semester 2020. COVID hit and the school closed the campus. Cheryl could have taken online remote courses but wanted to be on campus, and we thought COVID would be over soon. The campus is fully open in the fall of 2022. Cheryl began her graduate studies then. So the fall of 2022. It is now May of 2023. In case somebody watches this video a year from now. And so we're not talking that long ago that all this shit went down, guys. Her days were incredibly busy, but she loved being back at school. She came home excited every day about her classes and would tell me about what she was learning. A few weeks in, she told me a study group was forming, people in her master's program, and she decided to be part of it. When I asked her who was in it, she gave me the names of 3 women and 2 men. They would meet in an empty classroom, and they could find after their classes were over for a few hours to discuss what they were learning. How long they needed to study depended on what was coming up in their classes. Longer when there was an exam to study for. When she started in the study group, she'd be home by 8 or 8:30 p.m. at the latest, 2 to 3 nights per week. She asked if this was a problem for me, and I told her that it wasn't. I wanted her to do well in her classes. Okay. So, to your average Joe, this seems like an okay situation. You're helping her out, because you want to help your wife, because you have a great thing going, so you think. And will certainly help you. She gets the master's and get a better paying job. What could go wrong? Early in November, the group started lasting longer and began meeting most Saturday afternoons for a few hours as well. More and more time in this study group, huh? She better be getting straight A pluses. She would come home more or often at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, sometimes smelling of alcohol. How interesting. I'm assuming she's not getting masters in being a bartender, so something's up. I asked about her longer sessions and the alcohol, and she told me she would sometimes go out with the girls after the session for a beer or 2 to unwind and get to know them better. Saturday sessions were necessary, she told me, because they were nearing the end of the semester and finals. I trusted her completely. How many guys have said those words? And wanted her to do well. She no longer talked to me about what she was learning. She said she was too tired and tired of talking about school. When I asked her what her study group mates were like, she just told me they were younger, early 20s, very smart, and were nice enough. She especially thought that one of them, Bob, was also a teaching assistant in the department, was very smart and very nice. What'd I tell you when a girl starts talking about another dude? Oh, Bob is so nice. Bob is so charming. Bob is so amazing. Blah, blah, blah. When the semester was over in December and she'd passed her classes, I decided to cook a celebratory dinner for her even though her grades were disappointing. Hang on here. Did I just read that her grades were disappointing? With all this study time, unless she's dumb as a post, she should be getting straight A's. How with all this study time? Unless she's studying Bob's dick. She was capable of doing so much better. She had passed, that was the main thing, and it was her first semester break. She would get acclimated, and I was sure she would do better next semester. When I sat down to dinner, she seemed very stressed about something. I thought it was just winding down from a stressful semester. During our dinner, she complimented me on the food, told me how she loves me, and kept smiling and touching and hugging me whenever she got up from the table to get something. But the nervousness didn't seem to go away. I smell trouble here. Toward the end of the meal, she took a deep breath and told me that she had seen something interesting on TV a few days ago while she was taking a break from studying. The program on educational TV was about open marriage. Oh, what an interesting show to watch. She said it was interesting because the people interviewed all said it was an incredible help to their marriage. Open marriage provided excitement and spice of the SEX life in the marriage. Oh, how long have you been married? 5 years, and already it's that boring? You guys are in your late 20s at this point? Now, anybody who's been married knows after a few years, yeah, the SEX tends to dwindle, but it's not like you have little kids running around the house screaming or anything. You're still young in your 20s. Or something else. Our SEX life had always been great from the first time to the last time. This was true for her. She told me as well as for me. She told me she'd been thinking about the TV program and wondered if this was something we should try in our marriage. Goodbye. She then began to tell me about the benefits in an open marriage, how good it'd be for us, and the rules we could agree to. How wonderful, huh? Well, it's usually 10 times more wonderful for the woman who brings up this idea, who, by the way, typically already has a guy lined up or a guy she's doing. 3 guesses as to who that guy is. And of course, they get to make the rules. As soon as she mentioned trying an open marriage, I knew our marriage was over. Bro, I'm sorry you went through this shit. But good for you for at least being unlike the rest of the guys out there that knew it was over. That says a lot. I figured she was already hooking up with someone or had plans too. You thought right. As she was droning on about the benefits of opening our marriage, I tuned out and started thinking about what my life would be like without her, but especially how to move on from now in the future. I'm not the sort of person whose mind works on how to get from here to there. I would grieve the end of our marriage later. Instead of listening to her BS, I thought about what I need to do to end this marriage and get her out of my life. Right on, dude. I need to record this conversation and all that followed. I took out my phone, opened the record app, and put the phone in my shirt pocket. She was so wrapped up in her BS that she didn't even notice. Of course she didn't notice. I started thinking about our breakup. The house belonged to my parents, so there was no question she would be the one to leave it, and that would be tonight. My state is an at-fault state. How about that? So I just need to prove infidelity, which probably wouldn't be too difficult if I played this right. Her tuition was due next semester, and I was glad I hadn't paid it yet, and wouldn't ever have to again. So, let's see. He knows it's over. He starts recording her. At fault state. This is great. This is a horrible situation, but at least some things are on his side. Oh, and yeah, the parents own the house. When she said the word rules, it brought me back from my planning to what she was saying. She thought our first rule for our open marriage was that we would not ask or talk about who we were dating or seeing outside the marriage and what we have done on those dates. I tuned her out again. After about 15 minutes of explaining how great this would be for our marriage, I always say the same thing. I heard Cheryl call my name, which yanked me back to listening to her. She asked if I'd been listening and what did I think. I asked her, what's wrong with our SEX life right now? She said there was nothing wrong with it, but now it would get even better. I asked, wouldn't she be jealous if I saw another woman? She said she thought about an open marriage would be good for our marriage. I asked her, wouldn't you get angry and want to divorce if I was hooking up with other women? She just repeated that seeing other people would be good for our marriage. I said, okay, I'm down on seeing other women. If you think it would help our marriage, I'm willing to try it. Now, mind you guys, he's fucking with her. Her smile was ear to ear. I'm thinking Mr. Grinch, the big Mr. Grinch smile he got with the ear-to-ear smile. She was so happy and excited, she began bouncing up and down her chair repeatedly, thanking me. I'm literally picturing her bouncing up and down all giddy like a little 6-year-old. Yay, I'm getting some dick. She got up to hug me, but I held her off. I told her to sit back down. There was more to discuss. Her smile faded slightly as she sat back down. I said that if she thought me seeing other women would help our marriage, I'll do that. I had no interest in seeing other women, but would do that for her to see if it would help our marriage. But I looked her straight in the eye and told her that if she saw other men in any romantic or sexual setting, I would immediately end our marriage. She's probably like, what? You get to see other women, but I can't see other men? That's not fair. But honey, you said it would help our marriage. She was dumbfounded and stared at me with disbelief. She said it wasn't fair that I could see others, but she couldn't. The only way an open marriage could work is if we were both free to date others. What was so difficult to understand? She just explained it all to me. Should she explain it all, but slower? What a condescending asshole. What kind of an idiot was I to think I could see other people, but she couldn't? Didn't I grasp the concept of an open marriage? I explained that she just said that she was fine with me seeing others because it would help our marriage. Her seeing others definitely would not help our marriage because it would result in the immediate end of our marriage. If I suspected, even thought she might be hooking up with others, I would serve her with divorce papers. So since she wanted me to start dating to help our marriage, I would start immediately. Our arrangement would be that I would see others to improve our marriage, while she remains completely faithful to me to save our marriage. Dude, you're pretty good on the spot. She started screaming. How could I say such stupid things? This just wasn't fair to her. She needs to see others if this was to work. Blah, blah, blah. I told her calmly it was fair. She got what she wanted. I would help her improve the marriage by seeing others. And I got what I wanted. To remain in the marriage by her remaining completely faithful to only me. A win-win situation. We each got what we wanted. What could be more fair? After an hour back and forth, mostly repetition of her arguments, she told me she couldn't be happy with it being one-sided. I finally told her, okay, okay, I messed up. He said, okay, if you changed your mind and now think me seeing other people would improve our marriage, then I wouldn't see others. Her reply was that she didn't have a problem with me seeing others, but she wanted to see other people too. She wanted an open marriage for both of us. That would be difficult for her to continue as we are, to be together, without opening our marriage for both of us. An open marriage would make her happy, and didn't I want her to be happy. I was being incredibly selfish. Without open marriage, she thought we would eventually drift apart. She didn't want that. She wanted us to be happy together. Well, how kind of her. Because this is all about their marriage, not about her getting some. She started crying. Shocker. Crying is her tactic to get me to agree with whatever she wanted. Well, brother, that is pretty much the tactic of every single female walking the earth. Let's be honest here. Even the girls watching this will agree with me. In the past, this always worked for her. Shocker, because you were the nice guy in the past. She knew I couldn't stand to see her cry and would want to comfort her and would ultimately give in to her. Well, brother, not that she isn't an a-hole, a piece of garbage. And gentlemen, you're going to see way more how much of a piece of garbage she is in part 2. But this is what they do. Let's be honest here. And I think a lot of you giving in caused her to be even more of an a-hole as she was to you. It is what it is, but nice guys get treated the way nice guys get treated. He says, sorry, I'm not giving in this time. Enough of the open marriage BS. I asked her who she'd been hooking up with. She turned pale and didn't look at me. She furiously denied she was hooking up with anyone. Sure, honey. She was and has always been faithful to me since we committed to each other as undergraduates. I want you guys to remember this part here. I'm going to read it again one more time. She was and always been faithful to me since we committed to each other as undergraduates. Remember this. Keep that fresh in your mind as the story continues. She only loved me. Opening the marriage was just something she knew would improve our relationship. She asked me how could I even think that she's been unfaithful after all we meant to each other. God Almighty. I know how this story ends, so good Lord. Poker face. If that was what I thought of her, that she would cheat on me behind my back, maybe our marriage was worse off than she thought. Maybe we should split up. She was crying harder now. She looked at me trying to gauge if her crying was having a desired effect. Nope. I'm literally picturing her like crying and coming up her face like crying, ah, and then looking up to see if you're buying it, and if that doesn't work, ah, looking up again, nope, ah, nope. I'm kind of picturing that. I asked to see her phone. She went even paler than before and stopped crying. What could be wrong? And no, she turned off the waterworks like that. I've seen that before. Indignantly, she refused to give me her phone. She said that would be an invasion of her privacy, and she wouldn't put up with it. Not only was I selfish, but controlling as well. Well, we haven't heard that word yet. Controlling, let's throw insecure in it while we're at it. I told her to give me her phone or pack up and leave immediately. Our marriage was done. She said she would do no such thing. This was her house too. This is Mom and Dad's house, not your house, honey. If I wanted to break up the marriage by being so selfish, controlling, and jealous for no reason, then I should be the one to leave. I reminded her this was my parents' house. I had the lease with them, not her. I asked again for her phone. She started to argue that married people who love and trust one another don't snoop on each other's phones. Man, she had to be on the World Poker Tour. She didn't need to see my phone. Why didn't I trust her? What was wrong with me? You just asked me for an open marriage, so I got plenty of reason not to trust you, sweetheart. She said she didn't realize I was this kind of controlling, suspicious, devious, selfish person. She told me I needed psychological help. I cut her off, either give me your phone or start packing. She told me to forget about an open marriage. She should have realized I wasn't strong enough to try something new and exciting or smart enough to see what would be good for us. I love the twisting it around here. And women actually wonder why so many guys don't want to get married. Why so many guys don't even want to do relationships anymore. I mean, really. The more these stories come out, I mean, I know I'm up there with the energy companies as public enemy number one here for ruining marriages. I'm just reading what happens, guys. Yeah, people hate me. Rich people, energy companies, and RP community. That's public enemy number. We're all in the same category of evil. The Legion of Doom. She was wrong to bring it up since I was obviously selfish and didn't care about her wants, needs, and happiness. She said I should just have said no to an open marriage instead of going nuts on her. She said she was tired, didn't want to talk to anymore, and was going to bed. She needed to think about staying with an untrusting, controlling, jealous, selfish husband who showed her that he didn't really love or care about her. God, she has a pair. She hasn't used the word insecure yet. We need to finish this off with her using insecure. They always use insecure. I have hope. She got up to leave for bed. I calmly told her again to give me her phone or start packing. Crying yet again. She told me my character flaws would destroy our marriage, that I had hidden these character traits from her, but now she understood what a horrible person I was. I held up my hand for the phone. She ended up giving it to me, telling me that I would misunderstand what was on the phone and that Bob meant nothing to her. Bob? Why bring up Bob all of a sudden? We haven't heard about Bob all night. She only loves me. I went to her school email account, opened her correspondence with Bob, her study group buddy. They had emailed each other this morning. Oh, what a coincidence. He had emailed her asking if she had figured out a way for them to hook up during the semester break. And there you go, Miss Controlling, untrusting. What was all the things she was saying to him? She didn't say insecure, but everything else. Jealous. hooking up during semester break. Imagine that. She's been cheating on him. Who could have guessed? There were no classes, so she couldn't use the BS story about the fake study group to be with him. This is her reply to him from that morning, exactly as she wrote it. I forwarded her email address to my email account so I'd have evidence of her infidelity. And now, guys, that is the end of part 1. I know you want to freaking kill me leaving you on a cliffhanger like this, but don't worry. Part 2 will be later tonight. I will have it at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. I know you're freaking out here. This is too long of a story. We're already at 25 minutes here. I'm not going to do this for an hour. But anyhow, guys, if you think this is bad, wait till you see part 2. Wait till you see. You're going to really learn about her past and what she's really like. Not that you'll be surprised, but holy crap. And let me tell you again, this guy, in spite of what happens, he handles it well, and we can all be proud of him. So part 2 tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you all there.